for I am Doom.
I think it goes without saying that Avengers Doomsday is the most awaited movie of the year for all the Marvel fans out there. Yes, Spider-Man Brand New Day was impressive, but it was more like an entree before heading for the special, and the last 2 days have been rather significant in this regard. From another official trailer and official images, a lot of what we assumed to know about the movie has changed. I mean, there is simply too much information and clues to comprehend, isn't it? We have seen Doctor Doom take on Thor like a giant would fight a toddler, and his mysterious dig about stolen lives, or the hint towards Sentinels in the movie. There is a lot to unravel, and I thought this might be a good time to sum up all the things that we can confirm from the events of the last 48 hours. So that is precisely what this video is going to be all about, as I explore the confirmed facts and comic-based theories, which will ensure that you are better prepared for the big release day in December.
That he was broke.
Marvel is officially establishing him as Victor Von Doom and not Tony Stark. The last time Marvel captured the fan frenzy worldwide was when they introduced a god-level villain in Thanos, someone who wasn't just evil for the sake of it, but believed that his destruction was for the greater good. Honestly, I am thrilled that the upcoming Avengers Doomsday is headed in the same direction, because Doctor Doom is really shaping up as a world-ending threat. I know we have encountered thousands of posts and videos that have claimed that Doctor Doom is some evil variant of Tony Stark, but these rumors can now be put to rest. Marvel has officially established him as Victor Von Doom in the newly updated page, and the new footage also shows Reed Richards addressing him directly as Victor, so I am pretty sure that there is no evil Tony Stark angle here. Also, it is worth noting that we are yet to see Robert Downey Jr. without the mask, and even the voice of Doctor Doom doesn't sound like his, which is probably an attempt to make it distinctly different from his years of playing Iron Man.
Victor was always the smartest guy in every room.
Sue Storm knew Victor before he became this version of Doom. The new official trailer makes sure that everything feels more personal, and I cannot get over the scene where Sue Storm talks about Victor. It is the beginning of the trailer where you can see Vanessa Kirby's Sue Storm as she shares with the other MCU heroes her knowledge of Victor Von Doom. She describes him as the smartest guy in every room and claims that he used to be very different when he was not threatening to end worlds. Also, later you can see Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards addressing him by his first name, which clearly indicates some familiarity, and many are suggesting that this is all the confirmation that we need about Doom being from Earth 828. Assuming that this is the case, the abduction of Reed and Sue's son in the post-credits is now even worse. Sue Storm describes Victor as someone who used to be kind and caring, and she is not talking about him like someone that she has merely heard about. Her narration feels personal, and clearly she knew him before he lost his way and became a villain who now threatens the entire existence. I guess she might be important to Doom's emotional backstory, and I am all hyped up about this. If you remember the events of the 2005 Fantastic Four movie, you will realize that we have seen something similar already. Here, Dr. Victor Von Doom was the CEO of Von Doom Industries, and Dr. Reed Richards convinced him to allow him access to his space station in order to test the effects of exposure to clouds of cosmic energy on biological samples. Victor agrees and also recruits Susan Storm and her brother Johnny Storm. The movie did capture Victor's transformation into Doom, but he started off as just a brilliant guy who had nothing to do with evil. Is the upcoming movie going to reference this particular turn of events in a similar way? We will have to wait and watch, but the fact that Sue Storm knew him before as a nice and brilliant man makes me confident that we will see a similar trajectory, only with a way worse tragedy that shapes him into Doctor Doom.
Answer me, Victor! Did you do this?
Doom's second hooded alternate suit is officially confirmed. I am quite intrigued by the fresh look at Doctor Doom's alternate suit that has been revealed during Avengers Doomsday's official display at D23 Expo 2026. I guess this just about confirms what many of the fans have been assuming about Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom, and the second costume is quite significant because of what it implies. Firstly, I don't remember the last time Marvel Studios went all out in promoting the villain while sidelining the heroes, and you can already tell that Doctor Doom is their trump card in the upcoming movie. Secondly, the alternate costume is a hint about his story arc in the movie. It appears to be a more subtle take on the classic design, and I am guessing that it will be shown during his time in Latveria before he confronts the Avengers. If you take a closer look at this alternate suit, you will see a more polished mask, and the fans have been quick to point out how this one seems similar to the one we have seen in the Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene. Many are expecting a detailed origin story in Latveria, and the regal alternate suit will fit right in. It will be wise on the part of the makers to give us his backstory so that we understand his motivations better as he takes on the world's mightiest heroes. The alternate suit represents his calmer state, and this is very different from the battle-hardened armor that we have seen during the earlier promotional reveals of Doomsday. I would say that the first suit is more suited for heavy combat, and the alternate suit is less aggressive, and probably indicative of a pre-villain era of Victor Von Doom. I also cannot help but notice how this is similar to Tony Stark's wide variety of armors. Doom stops Stormbreaker with only 2 fingers. I am aware of the fact that Doctor Doom is one of Marvel's most powerful villains of all time, but the way he manhandles Thor and his Stormbreaker in the trailer footage is really unnerving. You can see Thor attacking him with all his might, and he comes down hard with his Stormbreaker, only for Doom to stop the attack using only 2 fingers before overpowering Thor. This is clearly a crucial detail because it is also referenced in the coverage of Doom's newly displayed costume. Now, this is Thor we are talking about, and not one of the less fortunate heroes in the Avengers roster that we have now. The Stormbreaker was forged as a weapon capable of fighting Thanos, and in Infinity War we have seen how it actually penetrated Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet-powered attack. To be stopped like it means nothing shows you just how powerful Doctor Doom is, and I am not surprised because I am familiar with some of his insane feats in the comics. In New Avengers number 6 in 2013, Doom sets out on a mission to discover the origins of the incursions after an incursion nearly destroys Latveria. Later, he used the powers of the Beyonders to create a new reality called Battleworld, where he ruled as the God Emperor. He could shape reality as he wanted, and he could make cosmic entities bend to his rule during this time, and it totally makes sense that he would stop the Stormbreaker without breaking a sweat. In the comics, he has murdered the Phoenix, ripped Thanos' skeleton from his body, and crushed an Infinity Gauntlet in his hands, so the Stormbreaker is probably just a late warm-up for him. Doom activates an army of X-Men Sentinels. If you were looking for an X-Men connection, it doesn't get better than this. While the trailer shows off the true powers of Doctor Doom, it also unveils his army of Sentinels, and they look menacing as hell. The trailer footage also shows us an image of a battered and bruised Magneto and Gambit, and I wonder if the Sentinels had something to do with the suffering that the X-Men had to endure in this situation. Also, the infamous sequence where Thor attacks Doom with his Stormbreaker and gets swatted away is followed by another terrifying moment as Doom raises an army of Sentinels as he declares, "Hell answers to me, for I am Doom." He raises these Sentinels from the ground, and I am not too sure about the implications here. However, it doesn't take a genius to decipher that the Sentinels will be used to cause nuisance to the heroes. If Doom can toss Thor around like my dog toys around with his stuffed bear, I can only imagine the state of the other heroes, and the Sentinels will only add to their woes, especially that of the X-Men. Doom believes that Marvel's heroes are living stolen lives. I have noticed that a lot has been changed from the comics version of Doctor Doom, and in the MCU it appears to be the loss of his wife and son that marked a major departure in his stance. In the comics, he is the classmate of Reed Richards, and he was horribly scared when a device that he built blew up in his face. The movie seems to have nothing to do with this story arc, and Doom in the upcoming film is shaped by tragedy and personal loss. In the trailer footage, you can see that he has a complete disregard for the heroes as he claims, "All of you have lived stolen lives." But what does he mean by this? We know that the Earth 616 timeline is the sacred timeline, which means that Victor and the Fantastic Four are variants from one of the many parallel realities and timelines. I am guessing that Doctor Doom is not impressed by how the heroes have cheated death and disrupted the multiverse only to secure a happy ending, and now it is time for justice. As he maintains in his grim voice, "And now you must give them back." Doctor Doom is a cosmic auditor who is not acting evil for the sake of it. He strongly believes that timeline violations are accounting errors in the universe, and he simply wants to reset the multiverse by stripping away all this borrowed time and unearned lives. I don't see this having an easy solution, and the Avengers will have their task cut out against this god-level threat who doesn't even think that the heroes should exist in the first place. He is using green energy powers and not just armor and technology. I know this is probably just catchy visual effects for many, but I am reading deeper into the energy powers unleashed by Doom as he sends Thor flying. He seems to use a burst of green energy to rattle the God of Thunder, and this is quite significant because we have seen a defining comic book trait where Doom is skilled in both science and the mystical arts. Now, I am not sure what the green energy really signifies, and it's too early to claim whether the energy is magic or technology or a mix of both. I am also not ruling out the possibility of an entirely different kind of power here, and while some fans are claiming that this is some kind of spell, I think that the visuals are not conclusive enough to infer something like that. I also find it to be an interesting theory that Doom may have destroyed the TVA and stolen the powers of Loki, and the green energy-like power might have something to do with this. Is Doom going to send Franklin Richards to hell? The trailer doesn't stop aura farming for Doctor Doom even after he humiliates Thor and his Stormbreaker attack. He responds with one of the coldest lines in the footage as he says, "Hell answers to me." Now, going by the comic book lore, there is some connection between Doctor Doom and Marvel's Hell dimension, but there is not enough evidence to suggest that something similar will take place in the movie. That being said, Doom did send Franklin Richards to hell this one time, and this happened in the pages of Fantastic Four number 500 in the Unthinkable story arc. In this narrative, Doom turned to magic after constant defeat at the hands of Reed Richards. He sacrificed the love of his life, Valeria, to a trio of demonic entities called the Hazareth, in exchange for dark magical powers. Using these new abilities, Doom attacked the Fantastic Four and banished young Franklin Richards to hell. Reed Richards eventually rescued his son with the help of Doctor Strange, but Franklin is left with a trauma of this event. Will this happen in the movie? Well, definitely not directly, because the origin of Doctor Doom is going to be sympathetic and not some selfish motive to win. Also, I'm pretty sure that his reference to hell answering to him is not a literal one, and only hints at his powers across dimensions.
Something we may not be able to deter.
Wrecked Xavier's school props confirmed on site. Professor Xavier and his men are not having a great time here, and Doctor Doom has made life very difficult for everyone. But what really caught my attention is the fate of Xavier's school. We have already seen that the iconic mutant school has been blown apart, and I would put good money on the possibility of Doctor Doom having something to do with it. The wrecked school props have been confirmed on site, and I love the chilling reaction when Reed confronts him about this and demands to know whether he caused the destruction. Well, Doctor Doom doesn't care much about gods like Thor, so you can imagine what he could do to smaller mutants who are still in training. Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds campaigned to join, but I think they are in the movie. I know this is not directly related to Doctor Doom, but the mention of these two characters happens to be a major takeaway for me from this upcoming movie. The hilarious hostage-style video at D23 featured both Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds as they jokingly pitch their services to Marvel boss Kevin Feige. It is all fun and games and harmless banter, but something tells me the two of them might feature in Doomsday as Wolverine and Deadpool. It could even be a cameo appearance or even in the post-credits, but they wouldn't be completely ignored in a movie that casts just about everyone. Also, it would set up Secret Wars nicely if they were to have a bigger role there. I think there is more to it than just a campaign to join, and my bet is that they are in the movie. All in all, I am still awed by whatever we have seen of Avengers Doomsday so far. There are some concerns about how the movie will handle such a diverse range of characters, but as of now, the focus is strictly on Doctor Doom, and boy, isn't he shaping up to be the biggest threat ever. Maybe it is time for redemption as Marvel looks to regain the glory days, and Doomsday might just be the right move to establish dominance at the box office. If morning shows the day, the trailers and teasers definitely promise a movie to remember. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the trailers and other revelations around Doomsday. Also, share your thoughts on the nature of Doctor Doom in the movie, and tell me if you have any other theories about him. If you appreciate the efforts to bring you this content, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such videos.